Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. This evening, there is an England match on, but who wants to watch that anyway? So, myself, Tony and Ben are here to talk Gameweek 4, which will be the start of European football again on Dream Team. Tony, how are you doing first?
All right? I'm all right, man. I'm not getting much sleep, but I'm all right. I'm here. Survival mode, as I call it.
I was thinking you've not got black bags under your eyes or anything like that, unless you've got a filter on there.
I think there might be a filter on here. Grey hair, black bags under my eyes.
And Ben, how about you? You good?
Yeah, well, good, mate. Enjoying a little break, but ready to get started again now. Looking forward to the Champions League and all that. So, yeah, double game weeks all the way through.
Oh, it's crap, isn't it? International break so soon. You just get going again. And throw this crap in. But, yeah.
I mean, it's a nice time to have a break before the start of all the double game weeks and stuff. But I don't know if you're the same. Well, you've been a bit busy, but I've just been doing draft after draft and going round in circles. And it's probably no point until everyone's back with their clubs anyway, is there?
Yeah, it's tricky. You're doing a lot of guesswork, aren't you? Especially through internationals. Who goes? So we had one of probably the biggest injuries I've heard of is obviously Odegaard pulling up yesterday. Like things like that. So you don't know, do you? So you're trying to plan, but you can't until they're back in training for the clubs and you see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure Saka's about to get another 90 pointless minutes again this evening as well.
Yeah,
the way it is.
England's having a goal checked here for Harry Kane.
Yeah, we'll have to do the goal alerts. I'll shout out a few people in the chat. Obviously, this is live to our Patreon members first, but please do leave a like if you haven't already. Shout out to Gary Walker. He says this better be good. Missing England for this. Gaz Paul, Miss Snoopy, Patrick, Ian, Mark, Stephen, Nathan, and DG Bournemouth. Good evening, all. That's not a bad turnout considering. Not bad at all. Let's jog our memories first with how we got on last week. We'll let Mr. Differential Captain kick things off. Tony.
Oh, honestly. Yeah. Do you know when they say it's horrendous going into an international break on the back of a defeat? It's horrendous going into an international break on the back of not captaining Haaland for his hat-trick. Painful, but again, he's not going to score an hat-trick every week, and if you can get it right, then you can do some decent gains. But yeah, not this week. It wasn't the one. But I still hit 100 points, which I'm happy with. I think that's 3 game weeks with over 100 or more. So if we carry on like that, I won't be too far off.
Do you remember what your moves were?
Yeah, Palmer and Rodgers in for Isak and Hall. So Newcastle contingent out. Obviously, Isak did go on and score, didn't he? Typically, as always happens. Palmer only got 8. Not his best of games, but yeah, Rodgers only got 3. McCarthy did not play. I was looking at it this week thinking punching him out, but he might get the cup game. So he might just get one of them games. I'm not too sure, so I might just leave him for a week. You know what I'm like playing with no keeper. It's no surprise to see my keeper there with a blank on. So Robinson, 6 points. Again, steady Eddie, really good. Trent, 8. Vardy 5. Mitoma, 3. Could have been a bit better. Obviously, a bit of drama going on at the Emirates Stadium. Kamada, 3. Saka, 11. Salah did the business against United. Really was tempted to be in with captaincy as well. Does so well against United. I wish I had have stuck it on him now, but yeah, one of them weeks. Still happy with 100 points, considering that I didn't captain Haaland.
Yeah, at least you've got them both there as well, haven't you? It's not like you didn't have them at all.
Yeah, which some people have found themselves in that position. So,
but a bit of double whammy really with Palmer now not being named in that European squad as well.
Yeah, it's turned out to be a bit of a crappy transfer, to be honest. But
and
again, he's
moving as well.
What? Sorry.
And the double game week from next.
Yeah, so you don't even have the cup game in game week 4. So, but he's again, obviously, hindsight, it's not the greatest of moves, but I did what was right at the time, and no regrets over it because you got to play it as you see it, and but I think he'll be coming out. He's got a nice fixture against Bournemouth, and I think he'll probably do all right. But with a lot of, obviously, with the European games, the Champions League games kicking off, and is it, like, say, Haaland, who's got, is it Brentford?
Milan. Yeah.
Milan. I mean, there's too many doubles to feel like he's a necessity. So with the amount he costs, he might come down 0.1. He's heads on chopping block straight away.
And is the aim going straight for those European players now?
So obviously I had my eye on Diaz and Savinho for last week. Ended up going Palmer Rodgers. I think I'm going to go to Diaz. I think he's been a massive threat for Liverpool, up in price as well, probably 0.3 up this week. Pretty much nailed. Because Nunez isn't getting much of a sniff, I think it's, and obviously Yotta's only ever a minute away from injury. I think Diaz is a good shout.
What about you, Ben? How did you get on?
126 points got me into 1K exactly. I was inside the top 1K, but I can't remember who lost the point and ended up dropping to 1,000 position. So yeah, really happy with the start.
From 1 point.
Yeah, I was in 3 digits and then it went to 4 digits again. But yeah, still buzzing with that start so far.
Yeah, really good, man.
364 points now. I got rid of Fatawu, Fatawu and Isak, and I had exact money to get Palmer and Irog Bunam. I can't say his name still.
Timmy.
Timmy. So 1.8 million. I knew he was going up 0.3, and I fancied Palmer as well. He was going up 0.3 after his brilliant performance against Wolves. So I got a 0.6 rise there. Palmer had Barrow this week, but they fiddled with the fixtures for the Carabao Cup, and he even moved a couple of the non-European teams to Gameweek 5 to have a double now. Like Leicester's been moved?
Yeah, lucky he didn't keep Fatawu as well, really.
Yeah.
The proper mess with it.
I've got Hermanson there who's got a single now instead of a double, but he possibly got a double next week, but he didn't play in the last round. So, and we've got Walsall, so I might not play that one anyway. So that's been moved. So yeah, I put Palmer in because I thought, he might do the business this week, and then hopefully I'm hoping on him to play against Barrow in a double. But then we got the news of him being not being added to the Conference League squad. So that tells me that this manager probably won't play him in the cups, because in the last season he was getting played in all the Carabao Cup games and that, but it's a different manager then. So that to me is making me think about moving Palmer on for a double game week player, because he's so much money. It's not like he's 2 million or whatever he was last season.
It.
So yeah, thinking of moving him on to a big hitter or spreading the cash and bringing someone in cheap and putting some money into a goalkeeper. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do yet. Alexander-Arnold done all right, 8 points. Robinson still ticking along 6. Porro 4. Hermanson 2. Saka 11. Kamada is another one of my enablers. He's gone up to 2.1. He got a 0.3 rise and got a double game week this week against Leicester and QPR. And they've got Eze as well in there, which is a nice double. Irog Bunam got Aston Villa and Southampton in a double. So I'm happy to keep him for a little bit. Salah done the business like you said, and Haaland captain, another hat trick. So yeah, absolutely buzzing with that.
Not bad at all. And then again, this is going to be sort of looking at Europe, isn't it? Like now trying to get those doublers. What between now and we were talking earlier, but like game week 6 has got to be the real target, hasn't it? To really get them all in place if you can.
Yeah,
say so.
Yeah, I think that's your deadline, isn't it? I think you have a few saving graces with a few teams. We can probably take a punt or 2 this week. Still got enough transfers, haven't you, to get across to you European players by game week 6. So
you guys are both pretty set up. Like, although the guys that you've got that aren't playing in Europe, you've got a Robingham who should play for Everton. They went pretty strong, didn't they?
Yeah.
Palace went strong in the last fixture. That's when Kamada did pretty well for both of you.
Yeah.
Eze's fine. Are we in agreement? Robinson probably not going to play. He didn't the last one, did he?
Yeah, Fulham's got Preston away, so possibly won't play that.
But other than that, and then I don't know about Porro. I'm in the same boat with Maddison. I've got a feeling they might not play Coventry.
Yeah.
Eze played last full game, didn't he? Last round.
Yeah. I guess it's the one I'm not sure on is like, did they do that because they'd had a sort of poorish start to the season?
So they wanted to kickstart it.
Yeah, or are they going to carry on doing that? It's hard to know.
I mean, he might just love his cup competitions and just think players love playing football, don't they? Just get him out there, give him a couple of days off training, and just let him play.
I'm 2.4k at the minute. 122 points for the week. Sells 2 points. Jelkovic was a massive flop. It's one of them ones like I sort of knew the risk at the time, but
you thought it was pretty nailed though to come in that side.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be a risk longer term. Like I anticipated maybe this week I could be in trouble, but I might get away with just nabbing a clean sheet or nabbing a couple of points for it. But now it's a bit of a headache. So we got the 1 pointer, and then Bogard came in out of the youth side and played. Who's a centre back / CDM by trade. And then I think it was 2-3 days later he played for the under-21s again.
Yeah, he played in is it the Domino's Pizza or something?
Yeah, something like that. But then they did play a few of their like fringe players like Buendia. I can't remember who the other ones were. I think Ramsey might have played it. So yeah, maybe getting a few minutes there. Vardiol, 5 points. I'm pretty happy with him. He seems to still be. I know he's not getting in the attacking positions, but he still seems to be smashing bonus. There was like one game he got 3 bonus, and then the other 2 he's only been a 1 ppm off of getting 3 bonus again. So pretty consistent. Robinson, like you guys, Eze the same, Saka, Maddison 4. I think that bumped up overnight. But I'm probably going to keep him, see what he does in Europe. I bought Rodgers in this week as well. I think my transfers in mimicked the same points as the guys I took out, so nothing really gained. But I kept Isak, and I'm normally on the wrong side of this. I'm normally the one that takes them out before they score. But I did get a goal there. Salah 19 points, and then I captained Haaland. And I was a traitor and watched that one in the flesh. I got a last minute ticket to see West Ham for that game. Someone I knew couldn't go, so I got to watch that. And I mean, every goal went in, I had to slap my leg and go, oh, for God's sake, Haaland.
Lions.
But yeah, 52 points there. And it probably will be the captain again. But yeah, tough decision to make on the transfers, but I'm sure we'll cover that in the questions. So should we go straight on to questions?
Yeah,
let's go.
Right, Grommers was our first one, asking, are Man United players an option with their fixture schedule?
No.
Or Swerve. So their fixture schedule. Now, obviously, they have got Europe. Southampton away. Is that Barnsley in the cup?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace away. And then Europe starts for them. So home to 20. Tottenham home in game week 6. And then Porto away. Is that in game week 6 as well?
I don't like them. I don't like even with them fixtures. I know on paper you're Manchester United versus Southampton, Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. On paper, we've grown up, and that is usually a walk in the park for them. But it isn't anymore. They're not this side that's they're still struggling. United, they spent a hell of a lot of money again under another manager, and they're still struggling. So I think Fernandes is still a good asset. Obviously, with his tackles, he gets quite a few shots away. I mean, he's still the main man there. He's a great great dream team player. But I think Crystal Palace turn him over. I think they'll find it tough at Southampton. Spurs, Villa. That's against their European games. I just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to get with them. It's tricky. It's so tricky with United. It is.
I know what you mean. I almost feel like they're one big win away from maybe going back on the run, or they're a loss away from like starting to worry about whether they move on their manager, or it's hard.
I mean, I think he is literally, his days are numbered. They started the season off with that win against Fulham, which it was so unconvincing. Whether they deserved the win, I don't know. It was very 50-50 that game. They come away with that. Obviously, then they've gone to Brighton, lost in quite
late.
Late on. It's a tough one to take, and then Liverpool coming to your home ground and smashing you. It's not going great there. It's not going great. I think. Do you know one of them results that just tips it over the edge? Yeah. I think if they get beat, obviously, if Southampton beat them, I think you're thinking, new manager again. This is
that fixture, surely. This is that fixture that if you're them right now and you wanted to pick a fixture to sort of turn your fortunes around, this has got to be the one, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say so. But they're no mugs, Southampton. They've got a bit of pace about them. They've got a bit of a guile. They got, I think they'll struggle. I do. I really do. I think they're struggling. The dressing room must be struggling. It can't be an happy place to work. I think if Southampton get a result, even if they draw, I think surely Ten Hag's gone.
So that's absolutely no players for you then.
Yeah, well, going off the back of that. I mean, as soon as United start to put a little bit of something together, then Fernandes is your man. Because as soon as these dudes start to show a bit of something, he's involved in it all. So
There's a lot of them that are going to be dropping as well, aren't they? You're looking at this week thinking, get the price drop out of the way, and then maybe we can consider it. What do you think, Ben?
For this game week, I mean, I wouldn't be going there, but I did have a little look because the fixtures are really good. I mean, I'd be absolutely gobsmacked if they don't win at Southampton, especially after watching them in the Championship and watching them the way they played last week, the way they just try and just persist with playing out at the back, even though they keep losing the ball. It's just they're going to get absolutely battered every week. I just can't see them staying up. So if they do get beat by Southampton, Man United, I think Tony might be right. I think he has to go, but I can't see it. Really can't see it. So they've got Southampton away and Barnsley at home in the cup. I looked at the options, and for me at the moment, Bruno Fernandes obviously is a great option, but I wouldn't be bringing him in now because even for a 12th man, I just think he probably won't play that Barnsley fixture. Mazraoui is quite interesting, but he's a bit expensive for me at the minute. But he's been doing really well. He's scored 9, 5, and 5. He's got 8 tackles in one game, and he's doing all right.
He's looked decent, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a lot to do playing for United. Yeah. He's obviously been under a little bit of pressure, but good signs from that Mazraoui. Yeah.
Yeah, and the new signing Ugarte, he's only 3 million. Obviously, we haven't seen him play for United, but I've seen some stats on X the other week, and he was like top. I'll try and look for it today, but I couldn't find it. It was like top of all the tackle charts, and he was very high up on all the stats for tackling and that.
I'm pretty sure it's 4 tackles a match average.
Yeah, he's mega for that.
So could be interesting at 3 million, and if he drops down in price even more. But I wouldn't bring in anybody in yet.
Yeah, this doesn't feel the right week for me, but I've put some down that I'd keep an eye on. That was Minu at 3.4. I think he'll probably go down. I'll have to check actually while we're on it. FF Stuff have brought out their price change predictor. Have you seen that?
Yeah, fantastic job by Mike again. Yeah, I was looking at that and it looks pretty accurate. So hopefully it is.
Yeah, he said it's going to get the way he's built it. We're not techie, but the way he's built it, it should progressively improve itself by using the previous week's data. So yeah, that'll be really handy. That's on ffstuff.co.uk. Minu set to go down 0.1. I think if he's playing twice a week, he's averaging 5 points a game so far, and he's got the most bonus points in the game. So if it gets a bit nearer to 3 million, maybe I'd consider it as a European enabler. But yeah, obviously doesn't really chip in with attacking returns that much. And then Garnacho's one that I just want him to keep dropping because I do think he's going to have a good season, but for some reason he's just not getting the minutes at the moment. He's due to go down 0.2, so that would take him to 3.6. We do know he's decent he could have had a couple goals this season without even starting. So yeah, and then Mazraoui was the other one that I'd mentioned, but like you guys, I wouldn't do it this week. I'd definitely wait because if they lose this one, you're going to wish you didn't have them. But then if they do win, you're going to be bringing them in for a rise, hopefully.
I'm not keen on Europa teams at the minute. I want to see how the teams line up. Just from history of watching teams in Europa and Conference League, they tend to rotate, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just target Champions League players now. I've got Porro, and I'm going to leave him in for now and see how it goes. But I think he might get rotated eventually.
But didn't Man United go pretty strong anyway last season when they dropped out? Did they drop out of Champions League and then?
Yeah, Onana had played, didn't he? But
I can't remember what they did with the rest. But I seem to think in my head that Ten Hag went pretty strong. Yeah, I don't know about Spurs though. I mean, I was looking though. I know I was sort of on the wind up a little bit when I said there's 8 Europa League teams better than Spurs. But like, I was sort of on the wind up a little bit. But like, when you look at the teams that are in that Europa League, there are some big names in there. Like, we just read out Porto, Roma are going to be decent. There are some good ones. And then the way it's set out now, you don't just win your group and then coast, do you? You've got to get in that top 8 to avoid playing another set of games. And then depending on where you are in that top 8, I think you get a better fixture. So you're going to want to be nearer the top.
Yeah, so it hopefully keeps people playing the better players throughout it.
League will be the focus, won't it? Still.
I mean, I don't know. I think with a team like United at the minute, they have to find something from somewhere. I feel like we've been speaking about United for the same way for like 3 seasons, and I'm not even just having a go at them now. They've got to find something from somewhere. Is it like 2 years Ten Hag's been in charge now? I think if you're going to find it, you've already found it by now. I just don't think he's the man.
He's won 2 trophies.
Fuck off. Honestly, I don't believe they give him a new contract off the back of scabbing a cup win against City. I honestly think City just threw that cup away thinking, they'll give Ten Hag a new contract if we throw this one.
Eric Ten Hag's army!
Speaking of United, next up, Charlie Choyne. Best Isak replacements.
Oh, well, keep him there because that's what would have been best for me. But I think Liverpool looking good attacking wise, good options. Got good options, aren't they? Salah. I do struggle to tip Jota because I always think he's minutes away from an injury and it troubles me. So I'd say Diaz more than him. But he could have a nice run of 10 games, Jota, and smash it.
The fixtures are there for Liverpool, aren't they? The fixtures.
Oh, yeah, massively. I think over the next few weeks, I'm mainly tempted by City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal having a couple of injury problems this week, suspension problem for Declan Rice, but injury to Odegaard, it doesn't bode well for this week, this double. And then obviously starting with City in game week 5, I'd probably just wait a little bit, maybe game week 7 for Arsenal, but they're a top team. As you know, Scott, they're a top team and they can score and keep clean sheets against anybody. So,
yeah, I'd be probably waiting for if it's game week 6, I think, for Arsenal, because I'm just looking at these 3 away matches in a run. Was it Spurs, Atalanta, City?
Yeah.
Havertz would have been the one that I maybe would have looked at, but I'm not 100% sure that he starts as striker if Odegaard. Well, we weren't sure anyway with the Rice and Marino being out, but now if Odegaard is out as well, I think it's possible that he does drop into midfield, which is not as good.
Might get more bonus there though.
Maybe
because he's struggling a little bit for other points up there, isn't he? He's doing all right.
He doesn't seem to get much else other than the goals and assists, really.
No.
Sterling might get a start at this rate. The amount of injuries and suspensions you're getting.
I would love to see it.
350k a week, Sterling.
He's only 3 million in the game, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if he does end up starting regularly, that is going to be crazy, isn't it? That price, but
there's always usually a player like him that comes at a cheap thing and ends up, like I say, 3 million ends up at 6 million by the end of the game.
I know it's not the best fixture for Spurs, but I would keep an eye on the Solanke news. If you could get on that early, 4 million.
Good shout.
I've got the itch for Ollie Watkins this week. I feel like it's gonna be the week from Everton home and Young Boys away at the Wankdorf Stadium.
You love that, don't you?
It's gonna be a tough test. But, no, it's
Young Boys wanked off.
Don't get. But it's one of them where he's played like 60 minutes, hasn't he, in both games? So it's like
he's coming up to now. He's probably playing 70, 80. But that Duran, he keeps going on and scoring. He won't stay there long. They need to find a way of integrating both of them, I think, at some point.
Young Boys on film, Duran.
Yeah.
Don't add any more to that. Right. Any other replacements?
I think you could go Son.
Yeah.
You go Son for Isak, pretty much a straight swap. I like Watkins. I like the Watkins shout. I know he missed an absolute sitter the other week, didn't he? But he's going to come good. They've got to drop to midfield. Diaz. Other than that,
if you can use another transfer to get a bit more money and use that money to get to KDB or Foden, could be interesting.
Bolster that midfield.
One
person I do like, but it is just for this week. So obviously you're going to have to move him on probably for next week, unless you're happy to have a single. Is Pedro at Brighton.
Yeah.
Nice fixtures, Ipswich Wolves. Forest next week, but it's a single. So it's one of them. You book if you want to play your doubles, you're going to be booking in a transfer for next week. So if you've already got a hell of a lot of doublers for next week, you're very European organised, you can have a punt on Pedro. He's looked really good. The eye test, he's passed the eye test. Bonus points, he's picking up tackles. He looks really, really comfortable within that Brighton side. So he's someone I've got my eye on.
I was going to say he's away on international duty, but he didn't play the first match. And then I did see a post earlier that he's not actually rumoured to start the second match either.
So we're hoping he's just straight back on the plane.
Yeah, possibly.
And straight back. I think it gives him a day and a half rest. He'd be all right.
Just a bit of breaking news on international break. I just I bookmarked somewhere about Pedro, but I was looking for it, but it's just come up that Ake's apparently just been stretchered off.
Oh, surprise.
So possibly better for Vardio or...
Well, I mean, it's cemented that, isn't it?
Tony put him in, didn't he, last season, and he got injured straight away.
Yeah. Made a fucking... it's right. It only cost me £1,000.
If Charlie's got no Isak or no Chelsea or Arsenal, would you just say Saka, or would you just hold fire until the fixtures get better now? Spurs, I think he might have returned in both the games against Spurs last year.
Where am I? Yeah.
I don't fancy Cities, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you can hold off for a couple of weeks, but if you've got him in your team already, happy days. But there's probably better fixtures to target for the next two, and then bring him in for Leicester for game week 6.
If I was going to spend that money, I'd go KDB, really.
Yeah. Like Foden might be back as well. Just one to monitor. I really like Diaz. Had a really good week last week, 16 points, and should go up 0.3. Obviously away internationally in Colombia, but plays tonight 9:30. So hopefully jump straight on a plane back to the UK after that. Playing Forest at home and then Bournemouth at home in Game Week 5 with the AC Milan game away in between with West Ham as well in the Cup. So I can see them going strong in that one as well because it's a Premier League team.
Yeah.
So
do you think he starts both in the double?
I'm hoping so. I think he will.
60 or something like that.
Yeah, he probably won't play a full match, but he's been brilliant so far this season. It's 2 16-pointers so far in 3 game weeks. So yeah, I think he's a good one to bring in.
And he's been doing it with the early subs as well, hasn't he? He played 90 the first one, but got those 2 16 pointers in 66 minutes and 72 minutes. So probably isn't a concern if he is limited a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, let's move it on to Nobbles. Are Salah and Haaland permanent players in your team? Are there any others that you'd consider set and forget for now?
I think when it comes to this, it's like, is it ever going to be a moment where you go, yeah, I don't fancy Salah this week, or I don't fancy Haaland this week? Unless they're injured, I think they pretty much stay in. Salah's looked really good. Probably last season he looked a little bit off it, if I'm honest. But this, I don't know where he went for his new hairline, but whatever's gone on there, it's definitely reignited him. So they've got cracking fixtures, Liverpool. Salah's looking good. Haaland back-to-back hat-tricks. He's just a machine. Yeah, take him on at your peril. But yeah, they both set and forget for me at the minute, unless injured.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Nobles hasn't got Salah or Haaland in his team, has he?
No.
But he's spreading the funds around his team. Probably he's got a decent team, but when Haaland's banging in hat tricks, it's a scary thing. I mean,
it's horrendous.
Even if you haven't got him as captain, like Tony didn't have him, at least he got half the points.
It's still painful, even half. But yeah, softened the ball a little bit.
Thing is, as well, it's like even with these doubles last season, Liverpool didn't need Salah for the groups, was it? Were they Europa League?
Yeah,
they were sort of mixing it up a little bit here and there, but it's Champions League now. He should be getting 2 starts. I imagine Haaland's always good in the Champions League as well. So yeah, the only way you'd consider it is maybe if there was like a 2-for-1 on someone else, but. Maybe if we see Watkins take off or someone else, we may change our tune a little bit. But I just
don't think you'd put even with that. Like if they've got the same amount of fixtures, even if Villa had better fixtures, would you go Salah to Watkins, Haaland? Not you trust. We know this game year on year is trusting the people that smash it. And Salah and Haaland are doing it.
Just saves a headache, something to think about as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just put them to a side, and that's it, and just work your way around the rest of it. Whether you just have 2 top or you work yourself a third striker in, them 2 your main men.
And then second. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, and I think it's more fun having them in your team as well, when you're watching them play and seeing them bang the goals in.
It's horrible when you haven't got it when there's a game and you're just thinking, please don't score. Please don't score. And then your phone goes off and you're like, and then it goes off again.
Yeah, and you're like, piss off.
It's just not worth the trouble. Second part of his question was, now all the fixtures have been released, do you have any weeks in mind for playing boosters?
Do you know, if I hadn't had a newborn, I'd probably be a little bit more prepped with this. But again, I'm trying to play the game in 2-week sections, and this week isn't one for me. I don't think next week is one. But yeah, I'll pass that over to you, lads.
I've been considering 12th man this week. With Man City playing Brentford and Inter Milan at home, I like the look of De Bruyne, and especially with us not having a lot of funds at the moment, it's an easy way to get a big premium player in. So De Bruyne are home to them two teams, and then you've got Watkins. If you wanted to you didn't want to gamble on. Obviously, he's not going to get a price rise.
Yes,
you've got Everton and Young Boys, and you really fancy it, don't you? I can tell, Scott.
Watkins.
So you could bring him in, see how he gets on as an extra player. You could have 4 strikers or 3 strikers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can get him for the price rise the week after. And like Eze, if you had Eze in your team and you needed the funds, you could sell him, bring a big hitter in, and then just have Eze as your 12th man versus Leicester and QPR. And then obviously he's gone anyway. You know what I mean? But he's going up again this week. It's 0.2, we reckon. I think Mike's getting his prediction. So that's just something you could do if you needed the funds to bring another big hitter in.
It's that international break that's the off-putting part.
I don't like playing off the back of one. It's risky, but what you just said, Ben, like there's a lot of good options there. Like you say, Everton, Young Boys. Is there ever going to be a better time to throw Watkins in as a 12th man?
So I'm looking at like Everton have got, I think, not no right back, but I think they've got 2 right backs out. I think it's Coleman and Patterson both out. You've got Keane at the back because they've got no Branthwaite. Like they're in a bad place.
Was the last game the Bournemouth one?
Yeah.
They lost 3-2. Honestly. I mean, confidence must be absolutely shot by that. Absolutely shot. Just 2-0 up with 4 minutes remaining, 3 minutes remaining. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's so undyche as well.
It is really. I mean, usually game control, game management, that's right up his street. He'd have had him just knocking it into corners and taking the time with everything, but Jesus, yeah.
So
what about João Pedro as well? If you didn't want to bring him in for a longer term, he's got Ipswich and Wolves both at home.
It's a good shout. It's one of them though, where obviously, see your Champions League games, probably the best ones I see is probably Villa with the Everton and Young Boy games. It's when you start to look at, say, Brighton, you're risking that. Does he play that second game? Now, I think he will, but we know the Champions League teams, they're going to play the full teams.
Like I'm confident De Bruyne will start both.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. I'd be very, very surprised if he isn't named.
Something like that works for me because the transfers I'm thinking of doing is pretty much making my team almost worse for a week. Free up a little bit of money to then next week get what I want. So then that it is quite appealing to then think, well, I've made my team worse, but then I've still got a big hitter in. But I don't think, is there any fault on goal bonus or max captain? They're later for me.
Definitely later. Probably Gameweek 8 I was looking at with Wolves and Sparta Prague for Man City. Arsenal have Bournemouth and Shakhtar Donetsk. Liverpool have Chelsea at home and Red Bull Leipzig away. Villa have Fulham away, Bologna at home. Man United have Brentford and Fenerbahce. Tottenham have West Ham at home and AZ Alkmaar. And obviously Chelsea have got Liverpool away, so I probably won't go there. They've got Panathinaikos away as well. But that's a pretty strong one to look at. And there's a few more later on, but I mean, it could all change. But I was seeing Gameweek 14, Game 22.
Another international break before that Gameweek 8.
Yeah.
You'd have to think as well. We're gonna have much bigger budgets by then, so then we're gonna, in theory, have more big hitters, more goals.
Yeah,
hopefully, that's how I think. But yeah, 12-man does seem justifiable, but it's just like, would I be shocked if Watkins gets 60, or one start, one bench? I wouldn't be that surprised. That's the
Yeah.
and
I
we
think
had what happened last year.
I think on any double week, you can justify 12th man or a max captain. I think as long as you use it on a double, and you've got a basis to what you're trying to do, I think you could always make an argument for bringing somebody in as a 12 man, or just saying, do you know what, this week there could be someone goes off and it could be anybody, so sod it, max captain.
Walkingfootball.com. So looking at the trend of transfers in each week, it seems some managers are picking the players who will get a price rise, then ready to dump them the following week or two and pick another 2 guaranteed price rises. So a bit like stocks and shares, in that you buy, bring in cheap, and then offload at the higher price. To do the same thing the following week to build budget. Is it sustainable, or is it better to stick with a player longer term, even though you know that they'll fluctuate in price, but hope the player will average more points in the long run?
Yeah.
Testing my reading there.
Yeah. Well, what you try and do is you try and get best of both worlds, and when you bring in a player in, you try to plan it around the price rise. If he's coming in, or he's price rising, but you want him for, so say Louis Diaz this week, he is a great option. He's going up 0.3. Not only that, but he's a cracking option for the next 3, 4, or 5 game weeks. So it's not, I don't think managers, well, I mean, some will be, but obviously people hopefully that are listening to this pod are not just bringing in people for price rises, looking to get rid of them the week after or the 2 weeks after. I'm hoping that people that are listening to us and hearing what we're saying is we're trying to bring in players that we actually want, but are hopefully rising. Not just for the rise, but players we also want, if you know what I mean. I probably said a lot on nothing, though.
No. They come hand in hand, don't they? Because like you could, I straight away was thinking people are just bringing in the people. I think it's a like a perfect storm, because I think casual managers will kind of just look at and go, oh, this guy did good last week, I'm going to get him in because he'll do good next week.
Yeah.
And then there's the people looking at this person done good last week, so they're going to get a price rise. And then there's a bit of a mixture as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, you probably explained it a little bit better. Is that so? Rather than just go to the top and go, "Oh, you did well last week, I'm having him." It's like, right, I fancy, I don't know, Liverpool to do well next week or next 4 weeks. Right, let's have a look. Should I bring in such a body? He might go down in price, but such a body who's probably just as good as him, he's going to go up.
But then if you are doing it for budget reasons, he wants to know, is it sustainable? So if you're just taking out the player that you think is going to go down each week for the player that's going to go up, is that sustainable? Because I'd think that you're not going to end up I think in our heads, we would have an idea of like game week 6, I want my team to look like this.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you only go for the price rises, you might not get there.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think I can't put a game week on it, but you would hope by a certain amount of a stage in the season where you stop looking at the price rises and falls, because, for example, just a quick example is like, so you've got De Bruyne, because De Bruyne's a big hitter throughout the season. He's got good fixtures. He's played for Man City, and then he has a bad week. You're not taking him out because he's going to drop 0.2, 0.3.
No.
The only way you would take him out is if he's injured, or if you really didn't fancy him anymore. He's a poor run of form. The eye test is massive. What's going on at the clubs? Just keep up to date.
does have you second guessing though, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure we have all done it, and we will especially do it now that the FF stuff is there. Because in my head, I was thinking, Nedeljkovic, I'm probably going to just keep him a week. He probably only he might stay the same or go down 0.1. And then I checked out FF stuff, and he's going down 0.2, and I'm like, oh, for some reason that extra one feels so much worse.
That's tough.
And then I'm planning to take out Isak, who I thought might go up 0.1. He's now going up 0.2. And I'm like, oh, do I really want to take him out? Yeah. Overall, do you think it's sustainable? Or?
It's you have a certain section of budget building, and if you haven't built your budget by a certain time, you're pretty much goosed. And if you have built your budget, then you're good to go. You're not doing it later on in the season. Budget building is an early process.
It's impossible to put like a price on it, but like I feel like the best way of almost thinking of it is like, say you build budget better than me or quicker than me. There's a chance that you could get KDB 3 game weeks before me.
Yeah.
And then if he's hitting 10, 20 points a week, it's probably going to be you probably catch me up even if you did sacrifice some points.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like you're not just. It's the balance. Your decisions have to be balanced. You're still attacking points. Points are what win you the leagues. Points are what win you the mini leagues. But you still, if you lose too much budget, you're done. You're done for, really. Unless Haaland signs for Real Madrid in January.
Should we move on?
1-0 England.
Who is
Harry
it?
Kane.
Who?
Harry Kane.
Get him in. A favourite defender, 3.6 and under. He's already got Robinson. This is Nathan Reeve. Rico Lewis is the standout, but comes with an obvious risk. Now Walker sounds ready to come back in. Ben?
Yeah. I think Rico Lewis is a good pick. Walker is a scary prospect, but Lewis is going to get one game a week, I think, at least.
He's got to now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing really well. And it might be like one of those things where he does it with a lot of players where he just drip feeds them into the team and then eventually they take over. So Walker's getting on a bit now, so he's starting to think the next process is getting Lewis into the team.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think he will get one game a week and you'll get the 0.3 rise out of him. He might even come off the bench in another game. There's no real standout players in the Champions League, really, that are going to get 2 games for me. I mean, Luka Dean, he's 3.1 and he had a great weekend. He should go up 0.3. Yeah. But you've got Maatsen, who they spent, 38 million on? So he keeps coming off. He keeps coming on for like 20 minutes, which is a good thing in Dream Team perspective if he keeps his place. Because if Aston Villa conceded late, didn't he, against Leicester last time, and he got the clean sheet points, a bit like Trent going off early as well for Bradley. He's getting the clean sheet points if they do concede. But if you're spending that money on a left back, surely he's going to eventually take over. And they've got the Champions League coming up, so maybe they give Maatsen a start one of the games.
He played in the final, didn't he, Maatsen? He knows the Champions League. He's young.
Yeah, he could play further up though, couldn't he? As well, he can play in left wing. Pau Torres as well looks probably the most nailed, but won't get a price rise. It's one of them. Do you want the price rise or do you want to guarantee points? 2 nice fixtures for Villa, Everton and Young Boys. So I think he's a decent pick. And I'm really monitoring the Matty Cash situation. He's only 2.7 million, but he's supposed to be out to the end of September. But we have seen players come back earlier. And with the right back spot, Villa a bit up in the air, with Nedeljkovic and playing Bogard the other week. Could be one they rush him back. So yeah, that's about it really. I mean, you could go for a Brighton defender. We've got nice fixtures, but the week after they've got a single, which ain't bad against Forest. But you want to start building your team for the Champions League, I think.
Yeah, you've named all the ones I had there. Like
I was just going to say, just completely.
I'm in the same boat because I need to get a defender really, and I really want a Villa defender. I just think I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but these next teams that they come up against, so just the Prem ones: Everton, Wolves, Ipswich. The next three, they're the 3 teams that I think have the worst XG and like have had the worst amount of shots on target per game so far. But I know Villa are not like known for keeping clean sheets, but they do look like some good fixtures.
Yeah, they do.
That's why I'm thinking Martinez seems a bit more.
I think it's McCarthy to Martinez. Just use that Cole Palmer funds.
But I am interested in like the easy moves for me would be like Diaz and Rico Lewis, and then you get the price rises. But I
like Rico Lewis.
I really want Villa.
I think quality player.
But yeah, you've named the ones there. Like I don't think Digne is going to get 2 starts personally. I think Marston will get 1, and the same story with Matty Cash. Pau Torres is probably safest, but it's boring, isn't it? He's not going to get anything other than cleans.
How would you rank them then, like Lewis and Digne?
If I was to choose out the 2, it's really hard. I probably would go. I don't know actually. I probably would go Lewis.
Going stuff that.
I think I'd go Lewis.
I was thinking Lewis. I think it might be his turn now. He's been brilliant since the start of the season. So
I know I like those.
Look, we've seen him play. He's unreal, Lewis. He's slotting in there. It's like he's a bloody seasoned pro.
Yeah.
And but as much as we say it would be harsh to drop him now, you just know Pep will just drop him for the next 5 games, won't he?
Well, I know we used to love an out of position player, didn't we? Like you'd on this game, like maybe years back, you used to love it when sometimes they would give you a right mid who was a right back. Like they'd put them, and then you could get the clean sheets, but they were actually an attacker. Like he's the nearest thing to that you get really.
He's so attacking.
I think I saw something like he had the most penalty box touches out of all the defenders or something so far.
Yeah, he's unreal.
So
if they bring Walker in as well, they'll have to change the whole way they've been playing since the start of the season, and they'd have to go probably more like Vardio coming inside.
Yeah.
Instead,
I wonder if there's a chance that if Ake is out, Lewis could do the same off the other side occasionally.
He's playing left back, isn't he?
That's what I mean. Yeah, if Walker has the odd game where if Walker comes in, if Vardio needs a rest, Walker comes in as the 3rd centre back. Lewis just does the same thing off the other side.
Oh, you're making it even more interesting now.
There's a chance.
Yeah. Gives him an extra option, doesn't it? Definitely.
God, we'll read this lovely compliment out from Ron Butte. So, hey, you guys, love all the great content you put out. It's seriously upped my game this year. I joined at the beginning of your 2nd season and went from finishing 25k to 403rd last season. Testament to the information that you guys give out. Just broke the top 10k with a team of enablers plus Salah and Haaland. Second guessing myself on rolling the free transfers that we would have after the international break or keeping on the price rises. Team values 52.6.
Holy shit.
I actually think that was 52. He said 2.4 in the bank, but I think the total team value was 52.6.
All right.
This will go down if I don't use the transfers. Is it worth the extra transfer? He has put a team in the Discord, so we might maybe have a look at it and get back. Let's have a quick look. It's got Munoz at the back with Livramento, Robinson, Eze, Fatawu, Saka, Rogers, Salah, Son, Haaland. But the keeper's no, and it's Henderson in goal. I think you use them transfers. Now it's a European week.
Yeah.
I don't think roll. We'll have a look on. We'll have a look on that at the team and get back on the team suggestions channel, shall we? Because
we'll definitely be using them 3 transfers.
Yeah.
Get it set.
Yeah, especially the way the price rises are going this season. There's a lot, very more aggressive, aren't they, than last year? So
yeah,
get your value up.
I was for rolling at times, but now we actually know how the fixtures are laid out. I think it's a good time to capitalise on those.
Definitely.
So we'll have a look and suggest some moves. Vobinho, how do you intend on building budget for Europe? Current budget limits the amount of European picks in the 11 unless Haaland and Salah are ditched. So we've spoken about getting European players in. What are you thinking about doing with your enablers first?
I mean, I get what he's saying is it's expensive to build a European team. The enablers, look at Rogers, is it 2.7 million? He's a European player and he could class as an enabler. He's cheaper than most players. So, yeah, trying to fit them in to your budget, you should be all right. Especially now Palmer's not a European player. That's another 2 million to spread out.
Might be easier when we see the Chelsea, how they line up for that first one in Gameweek 6, because at the moment we've only really got Villa to look at, haven't we, for the enablers? I think it was only a couple pods ago that I said to someone I wasn't interested in Onana, but like now Europe is coming.
I don't.
Now Europe is coming. Like I'm just thinking, price rise.
Onana.
For the price, do you just leave him? Because you're not going to get a defender, a 2-something that's playing in Europe.
Are you going to say it again, Scott? He won't score every week, will he?
He won't score. He's not going to score every week.
Every other week,
though.
Get your money on Onana to score this weekend.
That's what
Andre's not my name, mate.
Yeah, I think him and Tielemans are two. Like, I think Villa's the one that you're going to get the enablers from.
Yeah,
because the defense. I mean, you start messing with Nedeljkovic, then, don't you? And then you get burnt that way. Are you not tempted to get any like cheap Villa or just leave them there just for the 2 a week?
I'm hoping that
Rodgers.
I'm hoping that by the time it comes around, I've tidied it up. But
what, next week?
No, well, you don't have to tidy it up by next week, do you?
6-ish.
We've still got a few game weeks. I don't feel the pressure. Like, I think is all my team doubling next week? I think it is.
Pressure's for tyres, isn't it?
It's all doubling.
From McCarthy.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we might be singling.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could just leave it, but I won't. No, sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at my team that I've made my transfers on there. So I'm gonna have to give it up what I've done. So the way I've worked it is I took out Palmer and now you've just took my fucking team off, haven't you?
Oh, sorry. There you go.
It's all right. Palmer and Rogers for Pedro and Diaz. I don't really want to do the Pedro one. I was 0.1 off Eze. if Eze plays both them games, Leicester home, QPR away, that could be. Without him, it could hurt.
12th man.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing.
It's tempting.
I could throw another European player in and then have Pedro as 12th man. But I don't mind his fixture the week after. They're all right, Brighton. But I have got Matoma as well, so it's a little bit of. Yeah, I'm still pissing around with it, if I'm honest. But
You're thinking of selling Rodgers then?
Just scored 2 yesterday.
Yeah, for the under-21s.
yeah, I could have probably got a couple in that game. No, it's tricky because you're trying to build towards the European, but I still want to view it short-sighted. And it annoys me because obviously we played this game so long-sighted for so long. It's yeah, I just don't want to miss out on say Eze. If you're going right, do you know what? I want a European player, so I'm going to put Diaz in instead. But Eze absolutely smashes Leicester and QPR.
Yeah,
You're like, why am I not playing these players that have great fixtures? I think sometimes you can be stung by it. So Pedro, Ipswich at home, Wolves at home. If he plays both games, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
yeah.
Nice set of fixtures. Doubled up with Matoma.
I'm sort of thinking on mine, like if I can eventually get the KDB or Foden that we want and then get the big hitters that have Europe, I'm hoping that maybe I can get a couple players around sort of 3 million. Might be Rodgers in a couple of weeks. Could be Onana when he scores again next week. I'm thinking I could maybe use them to sort of jump between Villa, United, Spurs, because they've got a few players around 3 million, haven't they, that you could maybe use it for? Because you're not going to want to keep taking your KDBs out or your Fodens out.
No.
So yeah, tough one to answer. You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm definitely not moving Salah or Haaland out. Just keep, like, obviously I've got Palmer there, so Palmer's going to come out. That's going to free up a lot of money. And then I'm going to bring in a couple of players, probably one big cheapie, like, well, he's not cheap, but Diaz is cheaper than the other premiums. So get him 4.7, he should go up to 5. Nice run of fixtures, keep him in. And then I've got the other 2 million or something to decide what I'm going to do. If I'm going to add it towards a goalie or bring in like a Rodgers or something. And as one of my enablers to take out one of what's his name, Kamada or Irogbunam, probably be the week after because they've already got double game weeks this week. So
you've got to get him out so you don't have to keep saying it.
Yeah, I know. Just say Timmy.
Quick fire. Isak or Gordon? Which one you keeping?
Isak.
He's on penalties, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't believe he got 9 points for his little tapping last week. But
6 points a goal, innit?
7
points with the shot on target.
Shit.
I'd keep Isak, but I'm probably gonna take him out, so keep him.
It's obviously team dependent, isn't it?
It is.
Just the one fixture in it, Wolves away, but that is a nice one. But then Newcastle's form away hasn't been as good.
I like Gordon, but Newcastle haven't looked great. They haven't.
And I don't like him on that other side. He's on the right now, isn't he? With Barnes
because Barnes is on the left. Yeah, it's
and then Barnes looked really good.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, Isak's on penalties.
I think this is a tough one to answer from Patrick, but overall is the best strategy strong defense and enablers in midfield, or vice versa?
I don't know. It's game week 3. It's honestly, Patrick, it's up in the air, isn't it? That's like a end of season question.
Reflection.
Yeah, it is a bit of a reflection question. It's like, what was the best strategy? Because we can't answer it going forward at the minute. I think obviously your midfielders are outscore your defenders as usual. So yeah, strong midfield. If you put a gun to my head.
Ben?
Yeah, normally I'd say a bit of a mix of both. Obviously, I've got Trent. He started at 5.5. Should be going to about 5.9 now. But I like a mixture of both, really. But this year, there's not been any 2 million defenders so far that have popped out to me as good picks. I mean, Ned might have been a good pick last week if he got the game, but some reason he didn't play right back and he played a centre half that's right back. Strange thing to do, but yeah. So this year midfield, I found a couple of enablers in Kamada and Timmy, so I'm happy with them. So yeah, at the moment the midfield has got the enablers, but I have to throw in the old goalkeeper trick as well. The cheap goalkeeper's got to be in there as well.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. It's just
It's
just Europe that's throwing me now, because it's trying to find the European enablers, isn't it? The defense looks quite hard to choose from at the moment. So yeah, I think the best ones look to me like Rodgers and Onana, but then it takes those slots. So I'm thinking of doing that for now, and then if we see some cheap defenders come up that play twice, I'd move it back, because typically it is the midfielders that do the big numbers, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the one.
Connor, he's got a list of players he's liking the look of for transfers in game week 4.
Do you want a wild card?
Yeah, not getting all these in. Havertz and Pedro as the strikers, we've mentioned. Foden, Diaz, Szoboszlai. We haven't mentioned Szoboszlai yet. And then defence, Porro, Mazraoui, Digne, Rico Lewis, and Fofana. Which ones stand out, or which ones are the standout picks and why?
Nice. Yeah, Pedro, I like. Great fixtures. And followed by a decent single. So if you did get stuck with him, it's not the worst thing in the world. Diaz has been on fire for Liverpool, looked really dangerous. Very, very. I'd say he's a really cheap option into Liverpool's attack if you compare him to Salah. So I go Pedro, Diaz, and then I love Rico Lewis as a player. I think he's brilliant. Whether, like I said earlier, he could get dropped for the next 5 games, even though he's performed so well. We just don't know. So it's a risk putting him in, but we know he don't deserve to be dropped. So I think he should be playing. He's a great attacking threat, and yeah, good for clean sheets.
Have you both got Porro? Or either of you?
I have.
I haven't got him. I ended up going with Trent in the end.
I think I want Porro either this week or next.
He's a great asset to have.
I think I'm going to want him, and I still think he looks reasonably priced. I had tried. I know this week isn't really the week.
Yeah, that's what put me off with the Arsenal game, and
but maybe next week. I like the look of that.
I'm looking at moving him on.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm just worried about that Europa. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but I just think he'll get rotated in Europe.
I can't remember who it was they left out. Jed Spence
Jed Spence, yeah.
is left out, but apparently Archie Gray can play there.
Yeah, we're sort of waiting and seeing it. He's a great player to have in your team, though. Not saying he isn't. I've got him there, and he's done really well so far. It's just wait and see for Europe. I'm not targeting any more Europe players. I'm just going to see who plays. Havertz is a good pick, but obviously now with the injuries in midfield, it's put me a bit off him. You might get more bonus and tackles and that, but probably won't pick him for this double anyway. Pedro's decent, but just booking transfers in for me. Foden's a wait and see for me as well. He might not even play the first match against Brentford. He might only get one game. Diaz is pretty high up on my list with the points, the price rise as well. You're going to raise your value in your squad. Szoboszlai's looking decent, playing very high up for Liverpool, especially when they're defending. He's playing like as a striker. They go to like a 4-4-2 formation, so he's like pressing from the front. So if he can nick the ball and score or get an assist, he's a decent pick, 3.9 million. But yeah, Diaz is higher at the moment. He's on fire at the minute. Porro's decent. Mazraoui, we talked about him. Digne, like you said, and Rico Lewis, both going to get price rises. But yeah, more on Lewis. And Fofana was one we were looking at before, but he's not in the Chelsea squad for the Conference League. So that's put me off. He was really cheap as well, for 2.6 million, I think. So yeah, single game week player. I suppose it's okay for one game a week. But yeah, I want to get a double game week players in all across the board, really.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I don't want to end up bringing one in that I'm going to then have to take out. I think it's full steam into the doubles. Ian's asking, anyone tempted to buy Gundogan at 3.7?
Gundog. He's been good on here over years, but
we've got Rodri and Foden to both fit into this City team that's been doing so well.
Yeah, if anything, it's pissed me off that Gundogan's come back because it just makes it even more likely one of your players is going to get rotated. He's a good player, and when he's on the pitch, he's a good option. How many games is he going to get? I don't know, and that's what. Yeah, it can tempt you, but it's one of them that can absolutely burn you.
Not for me.
Nah, it's a pass from me as well. Ned was a stark reminder. I just want these double game week players. I know you can't compare the levels of Gundogan and Ned, but like the annoying feeling of just getting like a did not play is not worth it for me. A few that I think that's through the ones that we had here. We pushed the pod back a day, didn't we? So we had a couple more come through late. But Nathan, is Haaland a standout captain? Are any of you thinking of going against him?
No.
Haaland captain.
I mean,
overrated, isn't it?
He's not going to get a hat trick every week, is he?
No, not every week.
Hat trick of hat tricks.
Hat trick of that.
He got 3 hat tricks in 3 home games last season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Little bastard.
I'm pretty sure it's him for me.
Yeah.
Salah's perfectly good this week.
Salah's a good option,
but he's got an away fixture in there.
Yeah, Champions League player. Obviously, Haaland.
Watkins got a nice double in, but it's the wrong time for me.
Yeah, you're possibly feeling that you want to see a little bit from Watkins beforehand, but then there'll be some people who are thinking, right, I'm a little bit behind here. Do you know what? Fuck it, let's go for it and jump on it early. and could reap the rewards. But
that's what's nice, knowing that someone else isn't going to do it as well. Like, yeah. Who are your standouts? This is from Oz. Who are your standouts you'd consider that are definitely nailed for 2, apart from obvious big hitters? I mean, we've covered a lot of players here. Guaranteed double game week players that aren't the obvious.
I mean, that's tough, isn't it? Because obviously the European players, they're pretty much nailed for 2, aren't they? The Champions League players. When you go into cup games, it's such a lottery. But yeah, Eze played both the other week. He played 90 minutes, didn't he, in the cup game? He's seen it all out. So, I mean, I'm guessing Crystal Palace are taking that quite seriously. So that QPR game could be one.
Just wondering if it's this week or he means like long run. Now for 2 weeks. Probably is this week, isn't it? I think long run. I still think Solanke would be a nice one to get on that. 4 million if he does end up playing twice. But
yeah,
again, I know Ben's not convinced on the Europa League.
I mean, like key players. I'd say Porro's a key player. Son's a key player. Maddison's a key player. I just can't see them playing 2 games. It's usually that the fringe players that get the 2 games.
Yeah.
So you might get a Johnson or a Kulusevski or a Madueke who might get 2 games a week. The key players, I think, might get pulled off early and rested in the Europa. So, yeah. Son, if he was Champions League, he'd be well up there.
I do think Szoboszlai might be one that does go under the radar a little bit. Like, he's not while Diaz is doing really well, he's not the standout one, is he? But he scored solid points and he seems to always get 90.
Yeah.
Seems to get more minutes than McAllister as well. Any other quick ones that we can fit in? Thoughts on Madueke? A few people have mentioned him.
I think I'd be tempted to bring him in next week for Game Week 5. Like I say, he's not like the main player at Chelsea, is he? So he's playing, and he might get the Barrow game. So, and then you got the Ghent game in the Europa as well. So it could be a good cheap player to bring in. I wouldn't bring him in this week for a single, but maybe next week could be a good 5th midfielder, something like that.
And then one more I can squeeze in is from Nobbles, who's interested to know our thoughts on Arsenal and Tottenham after Arsenal's midfield injuries. Does it change anything Dream Team wise? We're all keeping Saka, aren't we? Are we on Saka?
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal, it's going to hit Arsenal hard. That it's 2 of the biggest names. Like Rice keeps things going. Odegaard, he's such a great attacking outlet behind that front 3. It's tricky. It's tricky, but Saka's still going to score points. It doesn't. I was never going to be bringing in Arsenal assets this week anyway, so it's not going to affect my choice now.
Yeah, Saka's a hold, I think, if you've got him. May not bring him in specifically. It might be enough to put me off of Havertz.
Yeah, I think so. I think it put me off Havertz completely, yeah.
I think you could probably push that one back now. And then defence, I think it probably does make us defensively worse not having Rice.
Yeah, yeah, completely. I just think you're looking at it less possession, I'd guess, less attacking threat without Odegaard pulling the strings.
This is the week that you would have bought defence in anyway. Really.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have touched defence regardless. Yeah, I think he just puts you off the attack, the Havertz especially.
Yeah, I think Tottenham Atalanta, City, 3 away matches, followed by Bolton at home, which is not one that you'd expect the big hitters in anyway. So
No.
I think you'd keep Saka and then just wait out the other ones, I think.
Yeah.
Then we've got Leicester, Southampton. Should we wrap that up?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Right, last things. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already. And then we've got our Patreon. We've recorded this live with our Patreon members, but if you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, the benefits are on the screen. We've got a community of over 100 members now, chatting about Dream Team on a daily basis. Got Ben's fixture ticker as well, which is filled out now with all of the European fixtures, Carabao, got all the international breaks put in there. Very, very handy. And then you'll have an article coming out as well, won't you?
Yeah, there's an article coming out at the end of this week for September. Plays a target. Are we not going to have a look at the league tables?
Oh yeah, just shut them out.
No.
Have you got them up? You got them up there?
Yeah, I can pull it up now.
Hang on.
I'll do the Patreon members only Tonic Cash League top 3. Me, Ben Lee, 3rd place.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
2nd place, Lee Giles, and 1st, Jack Miles.
Well played. Well played. Yeah, we missed it last week, didn't we? Actually, so we need to do these. I've got tag team.
Yeah, go on.
Top 3 in the tag team. Got L Wright and M Kent, D Lapham and J Newton in 2nd, and then how have they done it again? Paul McNulty and Andrew Ferguson in 1st.
Yeah, we'll topple them.
Can't let them get away with that.
Nah. The Dream Team Tonic Cash League top 3 is A. Allett in 3rd, D. Lapham in 2nd, and top of the shop, M. Fisher.
Nicely done. It's not part of our ones, but shout out Ben, who's 2nd in the ultimate leaderboard. Combined Dream Team, Telegraph, and FPL. We're giving that a bash this season.
Yeah, give FPL another go this season. I was quite interested with the new format with the 5 transfers. Thought it'd be a bit different and a bit more interesting.
Have we got any other? Is that all of them?
Yeah, that's them all for now, isn't it? Got the Patreon Cup coming up soon and the Champions League as well, haven't we?
Yeah, Patreon Cup and Champions League coming towards Christmas time.
Nice. Well, let's call it then, lads. See you next week.
It's been emotional.
Cheers, everyone.
Have a good sleep, Tony.
Nice one, man.
Nice. See you later.